What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got Michael Burry. More predictions out of him of the stock market crash coming. Seems like he's always trying to predict that, and we'll look at some of his predictions and how they actually played out. But first, he's predicting that yet again another stock market crash, the end of the world. He's the big short guy, so he's probably trying to get another big right guess like that where no one else sees it coming, and he can look great again. But is he actually going to do it? No one really knows. If you look at some of his tweets here, you can see he said someone was going on about Christmas in July. Hope you enjoyed it. This was a couple days ago, July 29th, he tweeted this. And if we look at the S&P on July 29th was right here. So right after this peak stuff started coming on, and we're kind of just hovering here. But he's had more tweets where he basically tweeted right before what appears to be the bottom of the market, and he tweeted how things are just going to be so bad. But if you look, he has another tweet. Another one is S&P 500. Is it 2001 or 2022? Comparing the dot-com bubble to this year. A lot of people said a lot of things are overvalued, but people have been saying that for basically the entire decade. So can you actually take it into account? Some things, for sure, overvalued. A lot of things are overvalued. But can you compare it to 2001 and a dot-com bubble? I don't really know if that's fair, if you can do that, but I don't really even know what charts he's tweeting out. I mean, we see a 12% drop and I guess a 14% drop. But I guess maybe they look similar-ish. They're going down. I guess they're going down. That's the only thing that's really in common. But we all know dot-com bubble. Lots of things got blown out from that and didn't come back. 2022, we still obviously we had a big drawdown. 476 for the SPY, down to 408 right now, and you see it's just a big drawdown. But what we've seen time and time again so far this year was just every time there's been a rally, we've been sold off, rally, sold off. So this time, what we could be looking at is something like this right here, where we had this rally and it went above where it went last time or the previous kind of peak, and it still sold off. So if we have this rally again, where we're pretty much around where the peak was last time and we're hovering there, maybe we sell off again if we get some bad news going on. But I think a lot of bad news is already out there. It's already priced in. Things are really getting over. People are getting over. The market is getting over things. And you see this kind of rally took a lot longer to get up than this one did when it was really just kind of rocketed up and then came back down. So a little bit differences in the market here. Michael Burry, though, saying over and over again that he's predicting that the market's going to be bad. I think he's been saying this since 2020, and he's obviously been drastically wrong. If you would have not invested in 2020, you would have missed out on ridiculous gains. So you don't want to sit in the sideline. One other tweet from him, or second to last, is, theater took off more than a decade to overstuff, talking about the market. Took a decade of people getting into the market, investing, things going up, values going up. Not likely everyone gets out in less than a year. Obviously we saw the crash down. It took down when people got worried and panicked. 2020, we saw the stock market get slashed very quickly. 2022, it's gotten slashed over a longer period of time, but it's still gone down in bear market. But I don't think, it's going to go down. If people are panicking, it's going to go down. That's not really a hard prediction to make. And if you're asking yourself, why are we looking at Unusual Whales and his screenshots of these tweets for all of them and not Michael Burry's account, that would be because Michael Burry and his account deletes all of his tweets. You can see no tweets here from Michael Burry. He deletes all of them, and he's just kind of covering his tracks, I guess. He's making these predictions knowing that people are probably going to screenshot him, tweet them out, and then he can gloat about them if he's right. But if he's wrong, then he can say, just kind of pretend it didn't happen and use his account and say, I don't have any tweets, no tweets, it's deleted. I don't have anything to do with that. He's not saying it. So it's weird. If you're really strong in your prediction and you really think you're right, why are you deleting your tweets? Why don't you put your prediction out there and say, this is what I think is going to happen, and this is the time period? Because if you say every single year the market's going to crash, eventually you're going to get to a year where the market crashes. And that's where most of the people who make these kind of market collapsing type predictions, they make them every single year with no timeline. And then when the market finally does crash, after they've been saying it for 5, 6, 7 years, they say, see, I told you, the market's crashing. But you missed out on hundreds of percents of gains along the way. And we can look at some of Michael Burry's predictions and how they really went. And you can see from this kind of chart right here, he has all of his predictions from at least 2017. When he made the big short prediction in 2008, he really stayed out of markets and out of the spotlight for many years and then came back recently. And you see 2017, he said, expect a global financial meltdown and World War III. Guess what? World War III didn't happen. There was no financial meltdown. And since his predictions, his 1 month return would have been 2%. So whatever, short-term stuff. His return to date, if you would have listened to Michael Burry and said, I got to stay out of the market, World War III is coming, the global financial crisis is going to come, you would have missed out on 93% gains. You would have missed out on basically doubling your money because of you're being scared of getting into the stock market. And there will always be a reason to stay out of the stock market. There will always be something that you can point to say, that's scary, that could bring the market down. And if you stay out of it, you're always going to miss the upside. If you look at the history of the stock market, the chart is always going up and to the right. And some of his other ones, index funds are the next market bubble. If you listen to that, you would have missed out on a 50% gain since he said it. Ridiculous gains to be trying to miss out on, to always be scared of. And then he is short Tesla as the price is ridiculous. He might not be all too wrong with Tesla stock being maybe a little overvalued. How it trades and its PE is definitely up there. It could be reasonable to say it is overvalued, but to kind of say that, it's overvalued, so stay out and never ever look at Tesla, maybe getting a little extreme there. But since he said he had a short on Tesla, the immediate month after 22%. So he definitely got wrecked on his short and probably closed it out at a pretty hefty loss. But even since his return to date, up 13%, nothing, crazy. That's in about 2 years. So 13%, it's okay. But we know Tesla is a super volatile stock. You'll see his next one in basically January 2021. He said Tesla stock will collapse like the housing bubble. And this one is right. I got it right this time with it being a negative 23% return. Basically, Tesla stock, it got super exploded, overvalued during 2020, just like a lot of stocks did. So saying that this stock could be overvalued, not a very difficult thing to say, not something that would be crazy, because basically any stock you picked could have been overvalued at that time when money was basically free. So he got this one maybe right. We'll see if it continues being right. But for now, maybe that one's right. Another one, February 2021. Market is dancing on a knife's edge, and he is being ignored yet again. People aren't listening to Michael Burry. If you see this track record, and if you would have listened to him yet again, you would have missed on 11% return in basically a year, a little over a year. So, you would have lost money listening to him yet again. And this one, Bitcoin, March 2020. Bitcoin is a speculative bubble. Everyone's always saying this about Bitcoin. Always speculation. If you would have listened to him since then, you would have probably gotten extreme FOMO as Bitcoin went up in price, maybe bought at the top, and be down much more than 28%. But if you would have sat out and said, I'm never touching Bitcoin, I think we all know the future is always making the critics of Bitcoin look pretty bad. So if you would have listened to him before Bitcoin, you would have lost out on tons of gains. Right now, I think in the future, you're probably going to miss out on tons of gains. His most recent prediction here, June 2021, greatest speculative bubble of all time. And it's the greatest speculative bubble is up 1% since he said that. So a lot of his predictions, you look at these predictions and they look really bad. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 predictions here. You look at the return to date. Since he said them, he's only been right on 2. So 4 out of the 7 he has been wrong on. He has a terrible sense with predictions here. And it's not easy to predict the market. No one can predict the market. No one can tell you, I know for sure the market's going up for the next 2 years, or I know for sure the market's going down for the next 2 years. Over an extreme long period of time, the market has only gone up. But if you look at his predictions, they're not good. If you would have sat out and listened to Michael Burry every time he says something, then you would have missed out on tons of gain. So ultimately, Michael Burry might have been extremely smart and is extremely smart in financial markets and was able to predict the housing crisis when no one else saw it coming. But when you have that level of success, that tends to get to you, and you start to think, I know more than the majority of people, that I'm so smart that I can't be wrong. And if you get into that position, you got to learn how to get yourself out of it, because you cannot predict markets. Otherwise, he would be a multi-billionaire, richest person in the world if he could successfully predict the market every single time. But typically, if you think that you're the smartest person in the room, then you're probably in the wrong room, because why would you want to try and do that? You should always be trying to learn and take different perspectives, put them into your own opinion, make your own opinion. So Michael Burry, whatever he says could be important, to look into, see if anything is going on, but ultimately come down with your own decision instead of listening to just one person. And like I said, every single time, if you're going to invest money, there will always be something to be worried about and scared about and make you not want to invest. But those things usually don't turn into anything. And over a longer period of time, 5-10 years, the market always goes up. I think this study is a 20-year period in the stock market, has never had a negative return. So if you've got at least 20 years in front of you, then you could be pretty sure that you're going to make money. That's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll see you guys in my next